Hello guys, Brave Shadow here, and you're watching the Shadow Source, your only source for gaming. So today we're going to be talking about the 50% more powerful console in the console wars, and that is the PlayStation 4. So to really get straight into it, I've been keeping up with the news lately, like many of us have been, and it's been kind of going back and forth. Some people are on the fence about it, some people are like, you know what, let's just wait when the consoles come out. And just recently, there's been a swarm of developers who have been kind of coming out saying, hey, the PlayStation 4 is more powerful. Not specifying like how powerful it is. Well, on Otaku, they actually have some sources within the game industry who talk about how the PlayStation 4 is more powerful and gives us examples. So I'm going to read an excerpt from this article. Our contacts have told us that memory reads on the PS4 are 40 to 50% quicker than the Xbox One, and its ALU arithmetic logic unit is around 50% faster. One basic example we are given suggested that without optimization for either console, a platform agnostic development build can run around 30 frames per second in the 19 by 1080 on the PS4, but it will run at a 20-something FPS, 16 by 900 on the Xbox One. The Xbox One is weaker and it's a pain due to its ES RAM, concluded by one developer. Now, this one developer's identity has been protected by Kotaku. Now, there's other developers who have come out regardless of protecting their identity or not, and have pretty much said that the PlayStation 4 is 50% more powerful. I'll show you some clips here. And as you can see, Jonathan Blow on one side and then Adrian on the other, both confirming that the PlayStation 4 is more powerful. Now, these developers are working on these consoles or know other developers who are working on these consoles and can actually vouch and tell people, us the gamers, the consumers, which one's more powerful. But I also would like to mention that even if the PlayStation 4 is more powerful, it's really which company has more money. Now, you might ask, why would money matter at that point if one's inferior and one's superior? Well, one can just simply buy out third-party developers to make the game look better on their console. So, by saying that, Microsoft has a past history with doing that. So, I feel like that it won't matter if the PlayStation 4 will have better specs, because Microsoft will make up in what it doesn't have in actual raw power just by pulling out some dough. And one thing we tend to forget is the industry. It's just that. The video game industry is an industry where people want to make profit. They will do what they need to make profit. We are the consumers. We make their money. So, yes, we matter to a certain extent, but if there's a way where they can cut corners and cut edges and make something look nice, but not actually have to put much money into it, they're going to take that path. They're going to take that road. And that's what they're doing with the Xbox One. Now, there may be fanboys or people who may argue against this, but when you really look at it and the way that Microsoft has been acting lately and how they've been in the past, it only goes to show that that's where they're going to be in the future. Now, you could say, hey, you know what? Sony's a company. Sony's in the game industry. They're doing the same thing too. But if you really look at it, the way that they've been advertising, the way that they're connected with their consumer through social networking, you can really tell that they do care about the consumer. I mean, at least more than Microsoft. And honestly, that matters to me. It shows that they're not going to screw me over, that I can buy their console and feel safe about my purchase, knowing my money has went to something that is going to last 10 years. Not to mention, that's how long this console cycle is supposed to last for both Sony and Microsoft. So when you're making your purchase and when you're thinking about that, that's something I would kind of look out for. So as this news has been developing, Microsoft a spokesperson at Microsoft actually, has said this. 10 years ago, you could argue that a console's power was summed up in terms of a few specs, but the Xbox One is designed as a powerful machine to deliver the best blockbuster games today for the next decade. The Xbox One architecture is much more complex than any single figure can convey. It is designed with a balanced performance in mind, and we think that the games will continue to show running on a near final hardware to demonstrate performance. In the end, we'll let the consoles and their games speak for themselves. You know, just to say nonchalantly that these are just specs and that 10 years ago specs mattered, well, I don't know if you know anything, Mr. Spokesperson, but specs still matter. That's kind of why we look at them before looking at a laptop, or when we're putting up our gaming rig, we soup it up with the greatest specs. Specs matter. And if you don't think they matter, well, that just shows how much you don't know. And then to say that, you know, the architecture still has more juice. Of course it still has more juice, but think again. The PlayStation 4 still has more juice. They haven't even came out yet. So just to assume, just because you don't have the best specs in the world, you know, that you're going to come out on top, that makes no sense whatsoever. So this only proves that Microsoft will end up paying third-party developers more money to basically beef up their version of the game. I mean, honestly, you can tell which one has better graphics, which one is better overall. I mean, when it comes to displaying such a beautiful picture, you know, having a whole bunch of things going on at once and just giving you, the gamer, what you want. A very cinematic and awesome experience. And, you know, I have a video on my channel. You can go ahead, check that out. I'll post it right here. You can watch that. It's amazing. You know, just seeing how well the PlayStation 4 has come along and how much the Xbox still needs to come along. And the fact that, you know, they're actually producing these Xbox Ones with the specs that they have is kind of sad. And what's even worse is that if you buy an Xbox One, you're buying a console that has inferior graphics that's not worth the money, and then it's $100 more than the competition. So you're getting screwed over $100. And then they tell you, oh, well, that's the price of the camera. Well, you know what? Even if you included the camera with the PlayStation 4, it's still cheaper than the Xbox One, and it's worth your money. And it's ridiculous. It's crazy, you know, but what are you going to do? So, this is about wrapping it up. So, thank you for watching this video. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And as always, game on.